So this is probably why I would never be able to become a vegetarian. Because I really like this pork fat. And look at this presentation.
It's a natural, it's a natural fat.
Meanwhile, Evelyn's like laughing behind you.
Oh, don't you eat any of that, Missy. Don't you? Oh my gosh, wow.
In this episode of WorldTowning, we find ourselves in Lviv, Ukraine, and go on an amazing food tour.
We were visiting friends yesterday, and they were telling me about all kinds of food around here. And they said that a really interesting or yummy food to eat is chicken neck. Chicken. Is that true?
Join us and learn why one of the most underrated cuisines is Ukrainian.
Oh, it's delicious.
That is fantastic. Good morning from Lviv, Ukraine. Now, this morning we started off with the way we normally start every morning, which is taking off for a little bit of a coffee break. This coffee shop that we went into is not just a coffee shop, it's also a pizza place. And they don't have breakfast food, they have pizza. So guess what we're having for breakfast? It's pizza time. This is craziness. I can't believe we're having pizza at 9:30 in the morning.
This is kind of embarrassing. We are going on a food tour, but not till later, and we gotta eat breakfast, so.
It looks really good though.
It does look delicious.
So basically, with pizza done, I think we have to go back now to the RV and go pick up the kids. They're in a guarded parking lot. So it's funny because people sometimes ask, what do we do when we're off on our own and the kids are not in the shot? Like, are they just like walking the street on their own? And the answer is generally no.
They're usually in the RV.
Otherwise they're like begging for money.
Yeah, but we have them singing with the ukulele on the street. Actually, are usually doing school if it's during the week, and it gives them time to be alone and get their work done, and it gives us time to get out and shoot and get our work done.
Yeah.
Now today, guys, we are doing something that we do in every single country.
It's not washing the dishes. It's
not even showering. I'm almost embarrassed to admit that. But we are going to eat. We're going on a Ukraine food tour, and we're taking you guys with us. Now, I'm a little nervous, I must admit.
Well, Jessica's heard really bad stories about the type of food that people eat here.
And people eat a lot of like chicken necks and chicken gizzards and chicken, I guess that's the same thing as a neck, isn't it? I don't even know. Chicken livers and all this kind of stuff. And although I like some of that, I'm still a little nervous about eating it because we don't eat meat that much. But
so
we
are super curious, and we're gonna find out exactly what Ukraine food's all about.
So for our food tour, we are being hosted by Ukrainian Travel Lab, and this will be an all-day affair. We will visit 3 restaurants and then end with dessert at a fancy coffee shop. All of this will take place in the Lviv Historical District, which thankfully is not that big, so we will be able to walk between all the restaurants.
Yes, I'm looking for you.
It's nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too, Ina.
Our first stop is the Borscht restaurant, which is often noted as a top restaurant in Lviv. Our goal at Borscht's is to get acquainted with Ukrainian food with a custom tasting menu. Finger food, here we come. So we're now in Borscht restaurant. This is one of the most famous restaurants in all of Lviv. I said it right? And essentially, this dates back to the 1400s, where a liquor proprietor named the Borscht family, they were made famous and rich by selling just like this, alcohol.
Elderberry liqueur. And I'm sorry, Will's doing all the talking. I'm just sitting here drinking, but it's really good.
It's just fantastic. And then we have a whole spread here of food that is going to pair perfectly with this elderberry
we don't drink first.
madness. It's so good.
I'm going to take the opportunity to explain this plate because Avril and I are pickled anything fiends, and they pickle a lot of stuff here. So we've got the pickled herring, we've got beets, and look how cute this container is that they put it in. This place is really creative with the design, with the doors and everything.
Straight up pickles.
And then straight up pickles. Avalon's going to totally go for those. I honestly think this is the country for me because you have a lot of appetizer food. Like, this is my favorite thing. We could just eat here and leave and not go anyplace else, and I'd be happy. So, Alan, do you want to try the herring first? You look scared. It's just been pickled. It's like sushi.
Sushi is frozen first to get rid of all bacteria and stuff.
I think it's good. I'll give you a little bite to start, okay?
Yeah, stop that. I can feed myself. I'm not a 2-year-old. Tastes like sushi.
You think it tastes like sushi?
the way fish does in sushi.
In addition, here we also have a wide variety of Ukrainian cheeses. They're all from the Carpathian Mountains, and they're all like sheep's cheese. And Avalon's here is, well, as you can tell, we've already gone through a lot of these cheeses already. How is the cheese?
It's very good.
It's very good. We used to live in France. That's a really good recommendation.
So here we have more amazing food. Forsmak and Svikli. And these are also made by two popular things, as I mentioned before. The herring is in this one, and the beets and horseradish in this one. All right, I'm gonna dive into these. This is my country with all this dippy stuff. Oh my gosh. This is like egg salad sandwich with a little kick because it's got the herring in it. It's so good.
The problem with all these food tours is that once you get in, they say come hungry. We take that to heart. We come starving. And the first course, they give you more than what you need because they want to make sure that everyone tries and there's enough for everyone. We're doing our best effort to go ahead and eat everything that's been on our first course. And look at that. We're doing a pretty good job. We're going to our second restaurant just now, and I don't think we're hungry anymore. We're gonna eat it. We're gonna do fine with it, but we're gonna force some of this down at the end.
Whew, appetizers, and I'm full, and guess what? Of course, we come out with a souvenir.
Well, we have this elderberry juice. I'm not gonna call it alcohol.
Juice.
It's like juice. We're gonna have it for breakfast.
It's elderberry vodka.
Well, I don't know if the kids are gonna want it, but essentially I know this for sure, is that I've never tried anything like this in my life. And
it was delicious.
And I'm liking it a lot.
It is.
For what, 150 local currency, which I don't even know. What's the name of the local currency? Hryvnia.
Ooh, that's a hard one.
Which essentially equates to about like $6.
Who's meeting us in the camping car next for... Oh, Largo just ran into the camera. Sorry,
Largo
guys.
had some juice.
Who's coming to hang out with us in the camping car now? Now that we have been adequately loosened up with the elderberry vodka and had our first taste of Ukrainian food, we knew that this was going to be a great experience. Gone are the misconceptions that Ukrainians eat only meat and potatoes. Our next stop is the Trapezna restaurant, which is uniquely situated in the basement of a monastery, where we will feast on a dish that is synonymous with Ukraine, borscht.
We have a problem here, Jess.
There's no light.
And we can't be loud. Everyone's really quiet
We're
here.
in trouble.
So how do you know when you're actually inside a monastery, like an old 14th, 15th century monastery? It's pretty simple. You turn on your phone and you realize that you have no service. And that's how you know. Basically, these walls are super thick. This place is quiet. This place is authentic. This place is uniquely Ukrainian. Now, what we're going to be eating here is called borscht. Now, when you think borscht, for the most part, you think like Russian borscht, you think like Soviet. Well, borscht is actually a Ukrainian dish. It was made here. The problem is that Russia occupied so much of Ukraine for a long time that it just became synonymous one with the other. But bar none, this is the best borscht we've ever had.
So now I'm going to try borscht, and it has, the main ingredient is beetroot, and then there's tomato, there's chicken, there's, what else is in here? Potatoes, carrots.
Carrots, yeah, so onion, of course.
And essentially we're being given blackthorn vodka to chase it all down. This is, well, it's a little bit more robust than the elderberry one we had in the last location. It's still good. I can't imagine drinking straight vodka, but it's lunchtime. We can have two at this point.
This is dish number one in Ukraine, the whole Ukraine, but with very different recipes.
The whole Ukraine?
The whole Ukraine, yeah.
And you said there were, what, 115
Or
different...
more than 100 recipes of borscht, and of course each woman usually has her own
recipe?
Yeah, recipe from grandma to, you know,
Oh, I love
granddaughter,
it.
yeah.
Okay, so
usually
something-
you have some secrets in your family. It's a prune.
Oh, I was going to say,
yeah.
that looks like a finger. I hope that's not...
It's a prune, but this is the
prune.
recipe of this restaurant.
So what would be kind of typical ingredients that are used in this region versus another region of Ukraine?
Usually we eat a lot of meat and a lot of vegetables all around Ukraine. In my kitchen, in my cuisine, my family cuisine, we have also a mixture. We use both mushrooms, tomatoes, and we have two kinds of borscht. Borscht
Okay.
of one grandma and borscht of another
that's so
grandma.
cool.
And so-called borscht wars, because which borscht is better?
No way! Oh my gosh, I love that. Can we do one of those tomorrow? So we've heard that this is the most artistic city in Ukraine. Do you agree? Or?
I can agree as a Lviv citizen that this is the most beautiful city.
With the nicest people.
Yeah, with the nicest people. But you know, we have three main artistic centers in Ukraine: Lviv, Kiev, and Kharkiv. And also, but we have a lot of artists that come here looking for inspiration, because we have a lot of beautiful architecture here,
you do, yeah.
and a lot of things that preserved here. Lviv was very lucky in the sense of architecture during the Second World War, that a lot of old buildings preserved.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's why it's a lot of people looking here an inspiration.
Walking through Lviv, you get blown away with its old European charm, which was gained while under the control of the Austrian Empire. This leads us to our next stop, Lemberg Graf, where we'll take on more traditional dishes.
We called it pork fat, salo.
Oh, we had that.
When?
Pork fat. That's
Pork
the stuff we had for
salo.
breakfast yesterday.
This is the main
It's the best bacon
thing.
in the planet.
Yeah. With some spices, sometimes with salt, and it was the main source of energy for a lot of people, especially working countryside, yeah, because it's natural fat with a lot of calories, especially for winter. Nowadays we eat a lot of meat, but long time ago meat was very, very expensive, so not all the people, you know, they could eat meat every day. So pork, it was a very good source of energy.
Oh my gosh,
And
more alcohol.
pork is also a very good with vodka. No,
I have a question. What is not good with vodka?
you know, some sweet things.
Yeah, who wants to eat an
that,
apple pie with vodka?
But you know, vodka, it's usually it's a Russian name of this drink. In Ukraine, we call it gorilka. This is the same
That makes
drink.
it taste better.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Okay, my next. Oh my gosh, sorry, I just burped. The next item I'm going to try to eat is a dumpling, and it's filled with what I thought was cheese, but it's actually turkey meat. So some type of, it varies. Sometimes they put turkey meat, sometimes it's chicken meat, other things in it. And then this amazing, amazing deep purple color is beetroot sauce that they put on the top just for beauty, and I think it looks wonderful.
You have to think about it, huh?
I'm totally thrown off by the white color because I'm expecting cheese. I know she said it wasn't cheese,
totally meat.
but it is.
Not
It is
cheese. totally
totally meat, and you're thinking you're going to get something rich and creamy, and it's very light. So I think this is a good dish for someone who's on a diet.
Yes.
On a very long food tour.
You know when you want to say stop and yet you don't? That's how we felt at this point. Everything was so good. Our final location was Kukierna, where we devoured desserts and learned about life in the Ukraine.
How do you like your hot chocolate?
Is it good?
Melted chocolate is so good.
Our final stop, and you can see already that no one is eating their share of dessert here, which I'm very upset about, but everyone's getting full. So this is sernik, which is a traditional cheesecake. This is the very, I guess we'd call it entry level or basic one. It has cinnamon and lemon on it, but it also comes with different flavors with nuts and all kinds of other good stuff mixed in. It is delicious. I tried it. And what's interesting is that I tried cheesecake in almost every country. And every country, it does it completely different. Sometimes it tastes like goat cheese. Sometimes it tastes not even like cheesecake, like in the United States. There's like all these different variations of it.
Largo, take a breath. Largo,
Your last moments are going to be drinking this super good chocolate.
are you okay? You have anything to say? Largo? RVNN? Something?
And so they brought us this amazing sauce for the cheesecake, but then I've been just kind of dipping this in here. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but these are just darling fabulous. This is a dough filled with the rose petal jam, if you know, for, I guess that's the right word, but rose petal jam. It smells delicious. Largo says it tastes like the rose Turkish delight, and I'm thinking it tastes and but smells like from the Bulgaria rose distillery. So it's funny to kind of relate all these different things from our travels into our food.
Now with the eating behind us, it was time to get curious. We really don't know a lot about life in the Ukraine, so it's time to ask some questions. We needed to find out more.
So where do you see Ukraine going, or where would you like to see Ukraine going in the future?
My dream is to see Ukraine as a part of European Union and NATO. To become a part of European Union, it's more maybe not about this politician status, but about values. Freedom, political freedom, democratic values, and so on and so on. But I'm rather optimistic about the further future, because after such Soviet times, it's impossible to change everything in a few years. I hope to see my country to overcome all this Soviet traditions, even in politics, in everyday life. And I'm rather optimistic, because when I meet young people or people who are traveling more and more, and if you have more possibility to travel, to see more countries, to see the life standards in other countries, you want to have it the best thing. Yeah, you want
You're
to have it here.
You're speaking my language, lady. Travel, World Town.
Travel, speak, and try to see everything with your own eyes.
Yeah, that's very
without
important.
TV or without such, thing. It's better to travel, it's better to talk, it's better to taste.
Yes,
something.
Oh my gosh, eat.
And I think it's the best way to know the world and to understand people, even if you do not agree with them.
Yeah, I think that's really it's really important, right?
Yeah.
You don't. I always say, people often say to us, I want to be around like-minded people. And I said, I don't. I want to be around like-hearted people that have an open mind so that we can learn, because we may not agree on something, but you may enlighten me of something I didn't know, and vice versa. I think that's really important, to kind of keep your mind open so that you can take it all in.
Or to see from another perspective. It's also sometimes very
and we were
useful.
talking, it's very difficult for us as Americans to really, truly, even if we try, to understand what you guys have been through. We're trying desperately as a family and to educate our children, but we haven't gone through it, and we don't have the history. So whenever we judge something and say, well, that person was cold, or that food wasn't very good, we have to think about how did we get to that point, right? How did we get there? So thank you so much for chatting with us.
And thank you so much for having this tour and for coming here.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful. Now someone's going to have to push me out of here because I cannot walk.
And greetings to United States. And we remember that you are very welcome here. So come here.
Yes, come visit. It's awesome.
So that was our food experience in Lviv, and I have to tell you, there is nothing telling me why there should not be more Ukrainian restaurants all around the world.
I know, right?
We have a theory in life that says that if there is a food culture that is really good, it will be represented in a restaurant somewhere around our travels. And we've never heard of a Ukrainian restaurant, and I think at this point there is a missed opportunity.
There is. We're going to move someplace and open one.
That would be a great.
Good, guys.
Right. So that being said, we'd like to give a big thanks.
Thank you, Ukraine Travel Labs. Your tour was wonderful. You are wonderful. The people we met through you and here are wonderful. Love the people here.
Yeah,
they're super nice.
And the whole education we've got about Ukraine has been fantastic as well. So with that being said, we're done.
We give this city a thumbs up.
If you want to subscribe, check out right over here. If you want to check out more videos about Eastern European travels, check out right over here. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye.
In the next episode of WorldTowning, the daily vlog goes on the road as we travel from Lviv to Kiev.
This day today is taking on its own little mind of its own, and it's not just because we're recording this as a vlog, as a travel day, which we never do, but just because Jessica has a mind of her own.
Where amazing things happen when you say yes to stopping along the way.
So the motocross has now turned into a full-on barbecue. Look at this. There's services back here. There's a bounce house like back over there. And oh my gosh, there's like a full-on bar like right here. We're gonna be here for a little while.
Click the subscribe button now and enjoy as we continue to share all of our adventures.
In the central part of Ukraine, in the southern part of Ukraine, tomato, garlic, or paprika, it also will be very, very
And
popular.
chicken neck.
Chicken nuggets, yeah. Yeah, it's something, very exotic.